I'm Marcia Hunt with Hothouse Studio, and I'm going to show you today how to arrange these gorgeous, locally grown garden blooms into some amazing arrangements. They're part of our new Bloom Box, a subscription offering of locally grown from either from our own Hothouse Studio gardens or from our local co-op of growers, and you can get that delivered or picked up every 2 weeks or every month and have these gorgeous colorful blooms in your home. And we have such a beautiful crop this week that I'm going to show you how to arrange it into more than one vase so you can have flowers throughout your home. So first, let me tell you what we have in our Bloom Box this week. The first thing we have is Queen Anne's Lace, which is a beautiful natural garden texture. We have this unbelievable pink larkspur. We have Lysimachia, which is this gorgeous, interesting bloom that has that nice bend to it. And one of my favorites, Chantilly Snapdragons. These are just gorgeous. Some amazing, we have a couple different colors of Astilbe this week. So the Astilbe is blush or red, just fun, really neat. And then Garden Phlox is just starting to come up, so you have a little peek of the Garden Phlox and what's to come. And then some garden roses from our hothouse garden. Some spray roses, just gorgeous, beautiful pale pink. But be careful, when we put our garden roses in there, we try and trim off some of the thorns, but natural, locally grown garden roses are covered in thorns. That's just how they survive. And so just be careful when you're handling those. This amazing maroon cosmos. These are so fun, such a great bloom. Astilbe, this copper dahlia. Dahlia season is just starting, so make sure you subscribe to Bloom Box soon, because as these start coming in, you are just going to be amazed at how beautiful and gorgeous and colorful the dahlias are. This is a new hydrangea that we planted in our hothouse gardens last season. It is amazing. It's called Summer Crush Hydrangea. It is our new Summer Crush, truly. We love pink, of course, and it also is reblooming at an amazing rate, so we're really happy with that one. Some gorgeous lavender hosta flowers, some lambs here, that gorgeous, beautiful, fuzzy textured greenery, Dusty Miller, some lady's mantle, and Japanese painted fern, which is so much fun. So we're going to start by just arranging in our hands, just an easy arrangement. We're going to do a little bit of a tall arrangement for this taller vase, and this really cool beehive tall white vase is one that we're going to have on our website for you to purchase. So that one will be, it's a great all-purpose vase. It works anywhere, and it's nice and tall for some of these taller garden blooms. So the first thing we're going to do is start with our larkspur. And larkspur grows with these great fingers on the side that will bloom. They won't bloom quite as much as the original one, but make sure you keep and use those. So I'm going to separate it right about here and take off an arm, and then I'm going to use these little ones separately. And just start holding that in our hand. And then as you're arranging, you want to group light colors together, and because it gives you more impact that way. This one, we are going to actually separate this one in a couple different places, because we're going to use some of those shorter blooms in the shorter vase. But so we're going to separate it there, and we're going to take some of these little blooms off the bottom, anything that's going to be below the level of the water, because you don't want that to start breaking down in the water and causing bacteria to grow. It shortens the vase life. And then we're going to add some of the Lysimachia. The Lysimachia has a natural curve to it. That's how it grows. So it's not like it's starting to wilt. It just looks that way. It grows that way, and that's what makes it fun and interesting. So we're going to do just a couple of those, and probably just one of those. You might save the others for the lower arrangement. We're going to do some of the Queen Anne's Lace. Again, we're going to separate it. We're going to do that nice, juicy, full one there. And we're going to do one of the Chantilly Snapdragons. So we're going to place it here next to the others. So you have kind of a tall grouping there. And then I think we'll save the garden roses for the lower arrangement, because they're so thorny, they kind of poke your hand as you go. And then we're going to add some of the Mauve Astilbe. I'm taking off some of the lower ones. They're just a little bit darker. And we've got several in the Bloom Box this time, so we'll use some in here and some in the other arrangement. The tall Garden Phlox is so cool. And that one should keep blooming too in the vase. So let's give that a spot over here. And then We're going to keep some of the lower, fuller ones for the low vase, and then we're going to add a few of these gorgeous burgundy cosmos. And you notice how that one really pops in the arrangement, so make sure you give that a nice front and center location. Oh, let's put some of these neat little hosta flowers in here. Let's get our blocks a little towards the front, and then these taller ones a little bit more towards the back. Let's add a little bit of lamb's ear in the back, a little bit of the Dusty Miller on the side, some of this great ladies mantle, that pop of green really makes things shine. And then we're going to add just a little bit of the burgundy. So I'm going to look at this and where do I want it? I think I want it right over there. So we're going to try that, and we're going to also add a little bit of our greenery from here. We've got some really great hothouse garden greenery. This is called Renaissance Spirea. It's nice and tall. Again, we're taking the leaves off the bottom. And then this really amazing, this is viburnum with those bright green berries. Aren't those so amazing? So we're going to cut off some of the shorter pieces and save those and use the taller one, almost like a backing to that. And now we are going to add one of these Japanese painted ferns, kind of arch and go forward. And now we're going to cut the whole thing off to the right height. So I'm going to hold it here. It should just rest, the flower should just rest above the lip of the vase. And then I'm going to measure where to cut the stems. Cut those off. And just gently put those in the vase. And voila! See how easy that is? And what a gorgeous full arrangement, and we haven't even used up all the flowers yet. So in the next segment, we'll show you how to arrange a really cool low arrangement, which works really well on dining tables. And in part 2 of our Bloom Box video today, I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful low full arrangement in our great vase. This is our new white linen textured cube. It's amazing, it works everywhere, and it's great for your home as a gift. And it goes so well with our taller beehive white vase. And I just showed you how to do a tall arrangement. Now we're going to do a low arrangement. And I'm going to be using some of the tools that are in our great hothouse toolkit that you can buy online. You've seen me using this amazing floral shears. This is great, it's nice and sharp, it's wonderful for florals. We're going to also use our hydrangea stem dip today, which I'll talk about. And one of the greatest tools that a professional has in their toolkit is this clear waterproof tape. And it allows you to create an invisible grid on the top of your vase, and it helps you to arrange your flowers so they don't tip out and fall out like you might have experienced if you've tried it in the past. So I've started taping the grid. You just do like a tic-tac-toe pattern on the top and just cut it. And then the secret is, after you've made your tic-tac-toe grid, go around the edge of the vase also, because that helps keep those pieces of tape from pulling up as you're working with the arrangement. And one little tip is, when you're done, fold a little piece over before you put it back. It makes it much easier to start the next time. Okay, so now we have our vase ready. We're going to start with a little bit of greenery. We have some great viburnum and some Renaissance Spirea from the hothouse garden. So we're going to start with some of that. And again, you're going to remove the leaves from the bottom that are going to be potentially underwater. Keeps your vase line high. And we're just going to start by putting in a few pieces of that. These amazing green berries grow on the viburnum, and they're so fun. They turn red in the fall. Beautiful. We're going to put a few of the shorter pieces in here, just kind of hugging. We're going to put some of the Renaissance Spirea in here. And again, as you're putting them in, you'll see that instead of tipping and falling out, they're being stopped by that invisible grid, so it works great. I'm going to do a little bit fuller piece here. And The Renaissance Spirea is also called Bridal Veil Spirea, and it grows in beautifully blooms just briefly in June, where you get these great white arching tendrils and flowers that are just amazing. We always use those at weddings when those are in full bloom. And you can just strip the leaves off. Sometimes you have to snip. We're going to start with that. And then we're going to start adding some of our blooms. We're going to group light colors together. We're going to start with this gorgeous champagne chantilly snapdragon in this gorgeous white blush champagne color. So I'm going to group a couple of those together. And notice that I'm kind of making it a little bit elongated because it works well that way. You can make it the same dimension all the way around depending on where you use it. But this is kind of nice if you're doing it on a table. It gives you kind of a longer profile and a longer look. Now I'm going to use some of the Lysimachia on the other side. And the Lysimachia has that interesting curve. It grows up as it's growing, it's bending and curving. So if you can, try and get the curve pointed up because then it looks happier. But it does tend to have a mind of its own. But now, one of the things you're going to want to put kind of front and center is your Summer Crush hydrangea. Hydrangeas are amazing. They're so all-purpose. We use them a lot in our weddings and events, and we love this new hot pink one, Summer Crush. But hydrangeas, you might have experienced, are kind of a fickle. When you cut them and put them in an arrangement, sometimes they tend to droop. So that's where this other very important item in our toolkit is hydrangea stem dip, and it's just a pickling spice. It's mostly alum, and you cut your stem at an angle, dip it in, just dip it right in, shake off the excess, and then put it in your arrangement. And then that alum, that pickling spice, it's the same thing that keeps pickles firm when they can and make pickles. It keeps the hydrangea drinking. So we're going to put that front and center, and then our real focal point is going to be this gorgeous copper dahlia. So I'm going to put that right in the center. I'm going to make a nice angled cut on that and put it right in the center. If I have to go back later and make it a little shorter, I will, but I don't want to make it too short just now. And now I'm just going to start grouping some of my other things around. I'm going to put some of my blush Astilbe in the back. I'm going to put some red Astilbe on the side. And then these amazing garden roses. These are our spray garden roses. Beautiful pale pink from our garden. It's really thorny. So not only do you have to watch to make sure you don't get poked, but also so that if you're adding it to the vase, if it's going to catch everything going down, you want to trim off some of those thorns if you can. We have another one that isn't quite bloomed yet, but that will bloom in the vase, and that'll be gorgeous. So I'm going to group that with it. This one's even thornier, so I'm going to take a few more of those off. Make sure as you're cutting them off, they're not ending up on the floor, or little bare feet might step in them, and that hurts. Okay. I'm going to add some of these amazing cosmos. They just have this pencil thin stems, but they're stronger than they look. And I'm going to put in the buds too, so I'm cutting all of those off and using them. Because again, they're either will bloom in the vase or they just look interesting as the bud itself. It's nice to have things that aren't always the same height, so you've got some variation there. Now I'm going to start to add some textures that in the old days we used to call them fillers, and now we call them accent flowers. This is Lady's Mantle. This is beautiful. This adds not only color, but it also helps fill space and gives you some interest in between the feature flowers so that you see them all, so that you notice them. Sprig of Lady's Mantle, or excuse me, Queen Anne's lace. sprig of, and notice I'm cutting off some shorter pieces. I'm going to show you what to do with some of those at the end. All right, let's take a look at that. I like that. I think what we're going to do is put a few little textures coming down. That kind of connects you to the vase visually. Put some in the front here. This amazing Japanese painted fern is so interesting. I think I'm going to keep that kind of tall, so you can see that. And then this fun lamb's ear, this amazing soft texture. We're going to put one of these arms. They grow in these kind of connected stems. We're going to put one. We're going to keep it together. We're going to put one on the side here. And then we're going to put another one over here. And we're going to finish with a few of our Dusty Miller here. Actually, these are short. That one's a little shorter. I'm going to save that for the next little project. Number 3, the last little thing I'm going to show you today for our bloom box is how to create a little companion arrangement that you can use in your daughter's room or as a gift. But as you're creating these arrangements, in part 1 we did the tall and then we did a low full, and you'll often have a few little shorter pieces left or just a few extra stems, and I'll show you how you can easily and quickly arrange those into this amazing little vase. This vase is our selfie vase. It's a signature Hot House item, and this little one is so cute. So just start taking the little blooms that you have left over, the little short pieces, taking the leaves off that are going to be in the water. Just start placing those in. And some flowers that you use, like spray roses, a lot of times you'll have to remove some of the heads because some are low and some are high. And just save those because these are a great way to use those up. So we're just going to keep filling this with a few of our greeneries and blooms. And these are, we had a little piece of larkspur left over, our little pink bloom. Lady's mantle left over, and this was an adorable little side shoot off of our larkspur, pink larkspur. So this might bloom. We will see. And some of these small pieces of lady's mantle are cute little filler pieces. And if you feel like you don't have quite enough, you can always steal a bloom from one. I'm going to have one that's kind of hiding here. It doesn't show up as well in this arrangement. I'm going to steal and put in here, and voila! There you have a cute little arrangement. It's also perfect for a powder room, so it'll make everybody smile as they come in. So thanks for listening, and if you are interested in subscribing to your own bloom box at Hot House Studio, you can go to our website, hothousestudio.com, and order it to be picked up every other week, every month, or it makes a great gift too. Thank you.